Okay. I wanted to make this video in response to a video I saw that MGTOW United did. Specifically, the video talking about Diana Davidson and and her channel. And I know I'm not one to really do the response video thing. This is my first video on this channel that I'm gonna do just to kind of use this as an outlet to get some stuff out. But I wanted to comment something about what he said, and it's something that I've really been very, I guess, it's been plaguing me ever since I've been a part of the MGTOW community. I've been part of the MGTOW community since the beginning of this year, and it was only until recently I discovered what MGTOW actually was and the meaning behind it. For the longest time, I have basically had the opinion before I even knew about MGTOW that I wasn't going to date again. I didn't like it. I really liked my free time. I liked being able to come and go as I please when it came down to things I wanted to do. I didn't ever want to have to rely on somebody else. So anyways, when I joined the MGTOW community at the beginning of this year, I really was able to have a better understanding of female nature, better understanding of the terminology used, as well as the whole red pill, you know, terms used and all of that. But the one thing that I really agreed with that seemed to stick out in me is the fact that this is something for men. This is not something for women. This is not something for women that believe in MGTOW. This is not something that women should be a part of, and at least personally I believe. This is a place for men. And I know that this is going to be quite controversial amongst some people, but I really don't care because we're doing, I believe, a huge disservice to our psychological being as well as the other people in this community by lying to ourselves and lying to our basic principles of being MGTOW. It's for men going their own way. It's not for women. And I get really frustrated when I see articles and I see things that other MGTOW are doing that, they're inviting them onto their Google chats, they're bringing them on board to come and basically spill the beans about the whole operation, if you want to put it that way. And it really makes me really frustrated because if you're going into battle with somebody, you would not draw up the battle plans and wave a big fucking flag in front of everybody saying, hey, look, here's our plans, here's everything that we know, and expect them not to take advantage of that. And I think that's what we see here. Because from what I see, the majority of the things that MGTOWs come up with and that we create is that it's done and figured out majoritarily by men. Why? Because it's men going their own way. And I see a lot of women doing this, especially the ones that are trying to get themselves involved in the MGTOW community in some shape, way, or form, or whatever the fuck. But they come on board and then they use this stuff that they heard about from other MGTOW channels, and they bring that back on board, and then they reform the video, and they have their own personal opinions about it. But the core truth is, at least what I believe, is they will never be able to understand what it's like to be a man and what they've had to go through to be a man. So at no circumstance, personally for me, and I think this should apply to the whole MGTOW community, that you should allow or follow or pay attention to any of the women that are doing these things, because it's not principle to what MGTOW is supposed to be. If we bring women on board and we start letting them start talking and engaging in these conversations that are only supposed to be for men, then we are going to find ourselves in a really fucked up place. And we're already starting to see that. Look at what's happening with the MGTOW community. Certain people are starting to change their opinions about MGTOW. Some people are wanting to walk away from it, and I think that's very unfortunate. I think that's very unfortunate. I think that is something that in no circumstance they should do. This is a place for men. This is a place for them. And it should only be a place for them. I don't believe that this should be a place for women to say their part about it or anything. Now, that's very controversial because, I don't know, I guess some people want to, they want to be the savior in every manner, I guess possible, if you want to say that. They want to be able to say, well, there is the exception, the NAWALT. But that's not true. In any case, it's not true. This is a case where, they should not be allowed to come on board about any capacity. I mean, so many people are interested in hearing about, what women have to say about MGTOW and all this stuff. That's cool, let them do that, but it's honestly it's counterproductive, at least in my opinion. The whole focus of this thing should be about men. And, we keep going back to what somebody said and what this person said, and this person said this and this person said this. We're not getting anywhere that way, I don't believe. And it's quite unfortunate that we have some, quite honestly, established MGTOW people that have run channels that are well known by people in the community that are now deciding to get to the point where, you know what, fuck it, I don't even care anymore. And if we get to that point, I mean, we're already there. I mean, people have already kind of made that inclination that they want to leave. And personally, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they stick around and realize that there's other people out there, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, that I agree with you. I agree with you. I know how fucking ridiculous it is. It's extremely contradictory. It's extremely hypocritical to assume that. And honestly, I just can't get past that. I mean, when I first got aware of the whole red pill analogy and all that, I mean, I took that to heart, and it meant something a lot to me. It meant a lot to me. Being 20 years old, that was something that I needed at the time, and it really saved me. And the things that these MGTOW creators and that these people put out there, it was something that I needed at the time, and I'm very grateful that I was able to get that knowledge and be able to get exposed to that. If it wasn't for that, I don't know what I would have done. I've always been, I really relate to the Matrix movie. I know that's been overused to its entirety, but I was at that situation where I really did not know what was going on, and I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to know the answers. I wanted to know why things were the way they were. And when I found that out, I told myself I would never go back to women ever again. I never could do it. Ever. And it just really frustrates me to see that there's other things like this that are going on and that people are trying to side with other people, and I understand that, but I do not think under any circumstance any women should be a part of MGTOW at all. They have nothing to contribute to a men's-only group. It's for men. I don't understand this. But I wanted to make this video and kind of rant about that, and I really don't care what other people, write in the comments or some shit, like I'm, trying to, I guess, whatever. I just want to let other people know that, you're not alone in this capacity. I agree with you, and it's quite honestly, it's a big brain fuck, because you're getting two sides of the story. You're getting one side, let's say, for example, if a man goes and his very first time, he wanted to be, he wants to know about MGTOW, he wants to know about what's going on, and if he gets these two sides, well, I've told, I think it's a case of who gets the information first, if that's the case, where a man who doesn't know anything about MGTOW, wants to know about MGTOW, comes into the community, let's say, for example, goes on YouTube, clicks a search result, and then they find a woman talking about MGTOW. Well, if every single thing that MGTOW and its philosophy or its knowledge and its teachings had to do with men, it is utterly absurd, and it's extremely contradictory and a huge fucking brain fuck to see now a woman talking about that. It just doesn't make common sense. If this is a men's only group, it should only be for men. That is fucking common sense. And personally, I believe absolutely no woman should be able to be a part of that group. That is a safety haven for men only. So, it's common sense, I believe, personally, and I think that, as they say, common sense is a superpower, but most people don't possess it anymore these days, unfortunately.